Welcome back to our channel Respect Education. Now we see chemistry chapter 1, chemical reactions and equations, in which worksheet number 1. Let us see first Roman, that is multiple choice questions. In that question number 1 is, which of the following are exothermic processes? Actually there are two kinds of process, one is exothermic and other one is endothermic. So exothermic means just remember that X, so you keep in mind exit. In endothermic the starting letters En, you remember that enter, so it will be easy to keep in mind. So exit means coming out. So in a chemical reaction, if heat comes out, that is called exothermic reaction. At the same time, if it requires heat, means heat enters the reaction. If heat enters, then only the reaction can be done. Those are called endothermic. Now here let us see the question. Which of the following are exothermic? Reaction of water with quicklime. When water is added to quicklime, heat will be coming out. So this is exothermic. And dilution of an acid. When acid is added to water, then heat will be given out. So this is also exothermic. Evaporation of water. Here there is no heat will be coming out. So this is not exothermic. Sublimation of camphor. This is also not exothermic because here heat is not evolved. Now here from the options you see 1 and 2. Let us see option A. Option A is 1 and 2. So A is the right answer. Now we see question number 2. X times PbNO3 twice, that is solid, gives rise to, on heat it decomposes into 2 times PbO solid plus Y times NO2 gas plus O2, that is gas. See their names are given. PbNO3 twice is lead nitrate, it is colorless, and it is this. And here PbO is lead monoxide, its color is in yellow, and here nitrogen dioxide, it is in brown color fumes. Okay, now so actually here you see a single compound is split into 2 or more components, so it is called decomposition reaction. Now let us enter the question. Identify the coefficients x, y in the above reaction. The meaning is that here we are asked to do balance this equation. Let us see how to balance it. Let us check each atom. Here lead x times, here lead 2 times. So according to law of conservation of mass, the atoms are to be balanced. So here 2 times lead is there, here only x times, so definitely x will become 2, right. Now here let us count other atoms. Here now N is there, right? N here 2 times N is there, again starting 2. So these 2 should be multiplied to get the nitrogen atoms. So nitrogen atoms are 2 2s are 4. See this 2 will go to N, also this 2 will come to N. So 2 and 2 to be multiplied. So 2 2s are 4 times nitrogen. So here let us replace Y with 4. Now 4 times nitrogen. Nitrogen is also balanced. Now let us check finally oxygen. See oxygen, 3 2s are 6 and along with 2. So 3 2s are 6, 6 2s are 12. 12 oxygens are there. Let us count here. Here 2 plus here 4 2s are 8. 2 plus 8 10 and here 2 12. So oxygen also gets balanced. So here x value is 2, y value is 4. Let us see the options. X comma y means 2 comma 4. Here you see 4 comma 2 is the wrong option, 2 comma 4. So option C is the right answer because here see first number is x and the second value or second number is y. So x is 2, y is 4. So option C is the right answer. Now let us see question number 3. Balance the following reaction. Here C6H12O6, that is aqueous, plus P times O2 aqueous plus Q times H2O liquid gives rise to R times CO2 aqueous plus S times H2O liquid plus some energy. Here instead of wasting our time by balancing, let us use these given options. Let us start from 1. For example, if we substitute in place of P 6, so let us write here 6. Here I am writing 6, and here Q is also 6, and then R is 6, and S is 12. Now let us check here whether every atom balanced or not. See here, carbon 6 are there, here 6 carbons, so carbon gets balanced. Now let us check hydrogen 12 plus here 6 2s are 12, 12 plus 12, 24 hydrogen should be there, right? Let us check this side, see 2 12s are 24, hydrogen gets balanced. Now finally we entered oxygen, here 6 plus here 6 2s are 12, 18, and here plus 6 24, total oxygen 24 are there. Let us see this side, 2 6 are 12 plus this 12 1s are 12, 12 plus 12 24. So here without wasting our time we got the answer at option A only. Now we see question number 4. 3 beakers labeled as P, Q and R. See, this is beaker 1, beaker 2 and beaker 3 containing 25 ml of water were taken. See, in each see 25 ml, 25 ml, 25 ml. See, all the three containers or 3 beakers, they have water of 25 ml. A small amount of NaOH. So in this NaOH, small amount of NaOH, that is sodium hydroxide, and anhydrous CuSO4, copper sulfate is added here, and NaCl, that is common salt, sodium chloride. These 3 were added to the beakers P. That means here NaOH is added here, C, CuSO4 that is added in the beaker Q, and NaCl is added in beaker R respectively. It was observed that there was an increase in the temperature of the solutions contained in beakers P and Q. See, for these two, for P and Q, temperature increased for both P and Q, for P as well as for Q. Whereas in case of beaker R, temperature of the solution falls. Here temperature getting reduced. For these two, temperature increased. Now which one of the following statement is, or which one of the following statements are correct? Let us see here, there are 4 statements. Here we need to understand that if here temperature increases, that means here heat is exited, so heat comes out. So these two are called exothermic. Now here you see in beakers P and Q are exothermic process has been occurred, so this is correct. Now in beakers P and Q endothermic, they did not take the heat, so here heat comes out, that is the reason temperature increased, so this is false. Now in beaker R, exothermic process has occurred, its temperature getting reduced, so here exothermic not has taken place, here endothermic taken place. So here option 3 exothermic is given, that is wrong, and option 4 you see in beaker R endothermic process has occurred, this is true, because of the exothermic process here for these two temperature has been increased. Because of the endothermic process here its temperature gets reduced. So here option 1 and 4 both are correct. Let us see only 1, only 2, 1 and 4. So option C is the right answer for this question. Now we see question number 5. Potassium dichromate on being heated with concentrated sulfuric acid forms potassium sulfate, chromium sulfate, water and oxygen according to the following question. X times K2Cr2O7 plus Y times H2SO4 gives rise to P times K2SO4 plus Z times Cr2SO4 thrice plus Q times H2O plus R times O2. On balancing the equation, the values of X, Y and Z will be, here there are 4 options. Now let us see how to balance the given equation. Now we see how to balance the given equation. Potassium dichromate reacts with sulfuric acid to get or to give potassium sulfate, chromium sulfate, water and then oxygen. Clearly it is not balanced equation, means unbalanced equation, or it can be called as skeleton equation. So let us write here atoms, and here left hand side and here right hand side. This is the reactants and this is the product side. Now here let us write the atoms one by one. The first one is potassium, that is K. Second one is chromium, and next one is sulfur, and next one is hydrogen, and the last one is oxygen. So here I would like to write the number of atoms. See, left hand side 2 potassiums are there, so I am writing here 2. Right hand side also 2 are there, so I am writing 2. Similarly, here chromium left side 2 are there, and right side also chromium 2 are there. Let us count sulfur. Sulfur left side only 1 is there. Right side, see, it is 1 and plus 3, total 4 are there. Now hydrogen, left side 2 are there and right side 2 are there. Then oxygen, here 7 plus 4, 11 are there, whereas here 4 plus 12, 16, 16 plus 1, 17, 17 plus 2, 19, 19 are there. When here, see, potassium balanced, chromium balanced, sulfur not balanced, hydrogen balanced, oxygen, when we have the odd numbers, then we can multiply with least even number, that is with 2. Let us multiply with 2 both the sides. That means here chromium I would like to multiply with, potassium I would like to multiply with 2. So this is 2, this here also 2. Now here 2 into 2 4, 2 into 2 4. So that here potassium gets balanced. Now let us see chromium. Here if you see chromium, here 2 2s are 4. So 2 becomes 4. And now here this side only 2. So let us multiply this one with 2. So it becomes here 2 times chromium can be written. So let us write here 2. Right. Now chromium also gets balanced. Now this is the turn for sulfur. Let us see here sulfur, let us count. Left side only 1, right side here 4 are there. Here right side 2 1s are 2 plus here 3 3 2s are 6. So let us count once again, 2 sulfurs 2 plus here 2 3s are 6. So 2 plus 6 is 8. To get 8, let us multiply this value with 8. Now the new value became 8, so let us multiply this one with 8. So here I am writing 8. With this 8 and 8, sulfur gets balanced. Now the question is with hydrogen. Hydrogen became 2 8 are 16. Here 2 becomes 6, 16. And here right side only 2. So let us multiply this one with 8. So that here it becomes 16. So here let us write 8. With this hydrogen also gets balanced. Now let us see finally check oxygen. Here 2 7s are 14 plus 8 4s are 32. So total here 46 are there. Let us count right side also. Oxygens 2 4s are 8 plus here 4 3s are 12, 12 2s are 24 plus here 8 plus here 2. Let us see here carefully. 8 plus 24, 8, 32, 32 plus 8, 40. 40 plus here 2. Here you see this is 46, here we get only 42. Now here wherever we change any number here, that will affect the remaining all atoms. So here let us make this 2 just by multiplying 3, let us make it 6. Then here it becomes 40 plus 2 3s are 6, it will become 46. So that these two can be balanced. So here the last 2 should be multiplied by 3. Let us do the same. Last 2 I am multiplying with 3. So that you can check everything here. So now here oxygen also gets balanced. Now this is the balanced chemical equation. Okay, just now we have seen the balancing, and here I would like to write the coefficients. Here it is 2 times, and here it is 8 times, and here it is 2 times, here also 2 times, and here it is 8 times, and this is 3 times O2. Now here let us compare the values. Here we are asked to find x, y, z. So here x is nothing but 2. Okay, second one y is nothing but 8. And CR to SO for thrice coefficient z, that is nothing but 2. So final answers 2, x is 2, y is 2, z is 8. Right? So no, here let us do once again. X is 2, y is 8, and z is 2. So 2, 8, 2. So option C is the right answer for this question. Now we see question number 6. The respiration process during which glucose undergoes slow combustion by combining with oxygen in the cells of our body to produce energy is a kind of dash process. Whenever glucose undergoes slow combustion by combining oxygen present in our body, then heat will be evolved. So heat will be coming out. So such a process is called exothermic process. So here option A is the right answer. Now we see question number 7. That is, calcium oxide reacts vigorously with water. Vigorously means immediately. Identify the incorrect statement. Incorrect means which is wrong. So actually here when calcium oxide reacts with water, heat will be getting out. So that is exothermic process, but here it is given endothermic reaction. This is wrong. This is exothermic reaction. See, you can observe the here given figure also, as the hand is touching the beaker, that means here you can feel that heat is evolved. Okay, and moreover calcium oxide when reacts with water, heat will be given out, so it is exothermic but not endothermic. This is wrong. Slaked lime is produced, that is correct. Calcium oxide plus water. Calcium oxide can also be called as quick lime. Quick lime plus water will give us a slaked lime. So this is true. Quick lime is produced, this is wrong. Actually what we are using calcium oxide, that is only quick lime. Quick lime plus water is slaked lime. So again quick lime can't be produced. So here this is wrong. Slaked lime will be produced. Now it is an exothermic reaction, as I have told you, this is true. Next, here it is a combustion reaction. It is combination reaction. That is true, because CaO mixed with H2O. So we'll get a CaOH twice. Now here it's a combination. See, one or two or more compounds, they react together to get a single compound. So here this is a combination reaction. That is also true. Now here, which are incorrect? Option 1 and option 3. 1 and 3. 1 and 3. Option C is the right answer. Now let us see question number 8. Here CO, carbon monoxide, in gaseous state, it reacts with hydrogen in gaseous state. Then at the pressure 300 atm, at the temperature, this is atmospheric pressure, and at the temperature 300 degrees Celsius, then we get CH3OH. CH3OH is also called as methanol. Okay, it is called methanol, and its another name, it has another name, that is methyl alcohol. So Here this is called methanol and also called methyl alcohol. Methyl alcohol, and it has another name that is also called wood alcohol, and it has another name that is carbinol. So, however we call, all these four indicate the same, that is CH3OH. While the preparation of the methyl alcohol or methanol, or however we call, we need to get the reaction between the carbon monoxide and hydrogen in the presence of two more components. Those are zinc oxide and chromium trioxide. So, under the presence of these two components, so these carbon monoxide and H2 hydrogen gas, they react together to give the methyl alcohol. So, it is the case of the preparation of methyl alcohol. So, here these two are to be used. See, under the combination of X plus Y, X is here ZnO, zinc oxide, and here Y is nothing but chromium trioxide. So, option B is the right answer. Now, we see question number 9. A small amount of quicklime, that is nothing but calcium oxide, is taken in a beaker. Quicklime, another name is calcium oxide, and water is added, H2O is added. Which of the following reactions were noted? Actually, when we add quicklime to water or water to quicklime, whatever it is, we get slaked lime. That too, here let us see the options. Hissing sound and the solution becomes hot. So, this is the right option. We will get this sound, hissing sound, it can be audible. At the same time, solution becomes hot, means that is exothermic reaction. That is what we have seen earlier in the 7th question also. So, 7th one and 9th one both are the same. Now, here let us see the other options. No characteristics of sound and solution turns cold. Both are wrong. Here sound will be giving hissing sound, and here it turns cold is wrong, it turns hot. So, this is wrong. Hissing sound and the solution become cold. Hissing sound is correct, but solution become cold is wrong, because that is exothermic, heat will be coming out. Heat is evolved. So, that is exothermic, it becomes hot. So, this is wrong. No characteristics of sound and the solution become hot. So, here no characteristics of sound is wrong. Sound will be becoming hissing sound. So, here 9th one, option A is the right answer. Now, we see 10th question. The chemicals that are created in a chemical reaction, which are created, they are called products. Which participate, those are called reactants. So, here option B is the right answer. Now, we see question number 11. Here Fe plus Cl2 gives rise to FeCl3. What coefficients would balance the equation? Let us balance the equation now. Here, see here, Fe iron is 1, here Fe iron is also 1. Chlorine 2, chlorine here 3 are there. We need to balance 2 and 3. As we know, LCM of 2 and 3, when there are different numbers, we need to consider the LCM, that is 6. Now, here, if you multiply this one with 3, 2 3s are 6. So, 6 chlorines, see 6. Now, here immediately 3 2s are, the 2 should be written here. Now, chlorine gets balanced. Let us observe once again. 3 2s are 6 chlorines, 2 3s are 6 chlorines. Now, the problem comes for the iron, that is Fe. Here Fe 2 times it is, that is only 1 time. So, let us add the coefficient 2 here. Now, let us check once again. 2 Fe, 2 Fe, Fe balanced. 6 chlorine, 6 chlorine, chlorine also balanced. Now, let us pick up the coefficients. 2 comma 3 comma 2, 2 comma 3 comma 2. Option A is the right answer. Now, let us see question number 12. How many aluminum atoms are there in 2Al2O3? See, the coefficient and the base number, they can be multiplied to get the number of atoms. That is what we are following in the balancing equation also. See, 3 2s are 6 means 6 chlorine atoms. So, here 2Fe means 2 iron atoms. That is the meaning. So, here 2 2s are 4 aluminum atoms. Option A is 4. So, option A is the right answer. Now, let us see question number 13. That is, Find A comma B comma C comma D. This is the equation. A times C7H8 plus B times O2 gives rise to C times CO2 plus D times H2O. Let us do here balancing. That is, here let us consider carbon as 7. So it is 7. Here C should be 7. Let us write in place of C, let us write 7. Right. Now let us check here. 7 carbons are there, 7 carbons are there. Carbon gets balanced. Now let us go for the hydrogen. Hydrogen here 8 are there. Here only 2 are there. If you write here 4, 4 2s are 8. Hydrogens also will be balanced. See, 4 2s are 8 hydrogens. Here 8 1s are 8 hydrogens. Right? Hydrogen balanced. Let us check now oxygen. Oxygen here, let us check left side B is there, is not possible to check. Right side you see. 2 7s are 14 plus 4 1s are 4. Here oxygen O means O1. 1 4s are 4. So 14 plus 4 oxygen 18 are there. 14 plus 4 18. So here in place of B, if you write 9, then 2 9s are, it will become 18. Oxygen also gets balanced. Now here let us do final checking. Carbon 7, carbon 7. Hydrogen 8, hydrogen 4 2s are 8. Oxygen 18, 2 9s are 18. Here it is 2 7s are 14 plus 4 total 18. So definitely here A will be taken 1 only. So numbers you see, A is 1, B is 9, C is 7, D is 4. 1 9 7 4. See from the options, option C is the right answer. Now let us see next question, that is question number 14. Now here A times P phosphorus plus B times Cl2 chlorine gives rise to C times PCl5. So phosphorus pentachloride. Now let us see here balancing. Let us consider first here P, here also P. So let us go for the chlorine. C, here chlorine 2 times, here chlorine 5 times. So different numbers. Let us take LCM of 2 and 5. That is nothing but 2 5s are 10. So wherever 2 is there, write 5. Wherever 5 is there, write 2. Now you see chlorine 5 2s are 10, 2 5s are 10. Chlorine gets balanced. Now what about phosphorus? Right side 2 phosphorus are there, but right left side only A times. So A will become 2. So 2 phosphorus, 2 phosphorus. Chlorine 10, chlorine 10. Now 2 5 2. This is the order 2 5 2. Option B is the right answer. Now let us see question number 15. Which information is not conveyed by a balanced chemical equation? Now here if you read the options carefully, physical states of reactants and products, they will be clearly known by using a balanced chemical equation. See, certain cases gas, liquid, gas, aqueous, solid. For example, here I would like to show you one example. See 8th one. Carbon monoxide gas, hydrogen gas, CH3OH is liquid, Cl, G, G. That means here physical quantities or physical states can be known. So this is true. Now, symbols and formulae of all the substances involved in a particular reaction, yes, definitely symbols are to be given, formulae are to be given. So a balanced chemical equation gives us all these things. So this is also true. Without symbols and without formulae, how can we balance it? So that's why this data will be given. So that is true. Now let us see C bit. Number of atoms or number of molecules of the reactants and products are formed. This is also true. According to the number of atoms only, the balance will be, the equation will be balanced. So here we have seen earlier examples. You see phosphorus 2 atoms, chlorine here 10 atoms, here also 10 atoms. So based on atoms only, atoms of the reactants as well as the products, so they are to be balanced. Based on that only we are able to balance the chemical equation. So this is also true. Now the last bit, whether a particular reaction is actually feasible or not, this can't be explained by just by the equation. It can be observed by the observation of the experiment. Is it clear? So here actually it is feasible or not, means it is done or not, it can be seen with our eyes while doing the experiment, but it is not okay given by the balanced chemical equation. So there is no relation between these two. So here what is not conveyed? First three things are conveyed by the balanced chemical equation, this last one is not conveyed. So according to the question, option D is the right answer. Now let us see question number 16, that is, which of the following is true, which is true in a balanced chemical reaction? Atoms are conserved, means atoms are to be balanced. So we have to see exactly both the sides, atoms are to be balanced. So this is true. And mass is conserved. According to the law of conservation of mass, we are going to balance the chemical reactions. So that is what here, mass of the total mass of the reactants equal to total mass of the products. So this is also to be followed. Molecules are conserved. This is not true. Why? Because here you see chlorine molecule, here Cl2, chlorine, here Cl5. See here, based on these two we can't say they are balanced. Only Cl2 and based on Cl5 we can't say there is balance. We have done the balancing. According to the atoms they get balanced. Is it clear? See here O2 is a molecule. Just by O2 we did not leave the equation, we have balanced it. So here we have given the preference for the atoms. Atoms are to be conserved, not the molecules. Molecules will be there in the skeleton equation. Is it clear? That is not balanced. So here option A and B both are correct. True it is asked, so both are correct. Option D has given both A and B are correct. So option D is the right answer for this question. Now we see question number 17. Which of the following symbols is not a correct indication of the phase of a substance in a reaction? See, in chemical equations you might have seen these alphabets. S stands for solid, this is true. AQ stands for aqueous, this is true. L stands for liquid, this is true. Actually G stands for gas but not grams. So here B is not the correct indication. Option B is the right answer. Now we see question number 18. What are missing coefficients for a skeleton equation below? Let us try to balance it so that we will get the balanced equations, so that the coefficients. See here aluminum 2 are there, here only one aluminum is there. So let us write here 2. Aluminum gets balanced. Now here SO4 3 times it is there, SO4 only one time it is there. So let us multiply here with 3, so that this 3 will be taken by even SO4 also. So SO4 is there for 3 times, here also SO4 3 times, SO4 also gets balanced. Now let us see K. K here one time, here you see 3 into 2, these two are to be multiplied. 3 2s are 6, so 6 times K is there here. So let us write here 6. Now let us check, final checking is OH. See here OH, 2 3s are 6 times OH, means OH are there 6 atoms. Here you see the 6 will go to even for OH, so 6 OH. Now it is balanced. See, starting no coefficient is there, we can take it as 1. Now let us pick up all the coefficients. 1 comma 6 comma 2 comma 3. 1 comma 6 comma 2 comma 3. Option D is the right answer. Now we see question number 19. If you rewrite the following ODE equation as a balanced chemical equation, what will be the coefficient and symbol for iodine? See here ODE equation is given, we are going to convert into first equation. Bromine is Br2 plus potassium iodide, that is Ki, gives rise to potassium bromide KBr plus iodine is I2. Now let us here do balancing. See Br, bromine 2 times it is there, here only one time, let us write here 2. Now here potassium become 2 times, here only one time, let us write 2. Iodine 2 times, iodine 2 times. Now it is balanced. See Br 2 times, Br 2 times, K 2 times, K 2 times, I 2 times, I2. Now here see the question. Coefficient and symbol for iodine. See in place of iodine, I2 is there. Its coefficient nothing is there, means 1 is there. 1 into I2 is nothing but I2. So here from the options, Option D is the right answer. Now let us see question number 20. Nitrogen trifluoride, its formula is NF3. Nitrogen tri means 3, di means 2, tri means 3. NF3 is nothing but nitrogen N2 plus fluorine is F2. Let us here do balancing. See here N only one time, here 2 times. So let us write here 2. So nitrogen gets balanced. Fluorine here you see 2 3 are 6. Here 2 is there. Let us write here 3. So the 3 2s are also 6. Now it is balanced. So 2N N2 fluorine F6, here F also 6, it is balanced. Now the question is that fluorine can be represented as, here let us see, fluorine is 3F2, see nitrogen is N2, fluorine is 3F2. Let us see the options. Option C is the right answer. Now we see second Roman, that is comprehension type questions. Comprehension 1. The chemical equations are of two types. These are word equation and symbol equation. The meaning of word equation is, word equations represent simple change of reactants into products. A word equation links together the names of the reactants with those of the products. So simple word equation has the names of the reactants and products. See here best example you have seen earlier. Say nitrogen trifluoride, nothing but nitrogen plus fluorine. These are the reactants, this is the product. And here bromine and potassium iodide, these are the reactants and these are the products. See the names, just we have the names. And here symbol equation, a brief representation of a chemical equation in terms of symbols and formulae of the substances involved is called a chemical equation. See here, if you observe Br2 plus Ki gives rise to Kbr plus I2, this is called symbol equation. NF3 gives rise to N2 plus 3F2, this is called symbol equation. If you write their names, that is called word equation. If you write their symbols, that is called symbol equation. Now let us see what are the questions based on this. First one is X, 21st one. X times Fe plus Y times H2O gives rise to Z times Fe3O4 plus W times H2. What are the values of X, Y, Z and W respectively? Now let us here simple, we need to do balancing. Let us see here Fe one time, actually X times, here Fe 3 times. So let us multiply Fe with 3. Right. Now Fe gets balanced. Now let us see here oxygen. Here let us see hydrogen first. Here hydrogen is there, H2 is 2 times, here it is W times. So let us keep it in weighting. Now here since Fe3 is balanced, Fe is balanced. Now here oxygen is 4 times, whereas here it is only 1 time. In place of Y, let us write 4. Now oxygen also 4 times. Right? Oxygen gets balanced. Fe gets balanced. Now the problem is only hydrogen. Hydrogen 4 2s are 8 times. Here 2 4s are 8 times. 2 is there, here let us write 4. So here it is 4 2s are 8 times. Now in place of Z, if you write 1, then it will be completely balanced. Let us here 3 Fe, 3 times Fe. Here 8 hydrogen, here 4 2s are 8 hydrogen. 4 oxygen, here 4 1s are 4 oxygen. So here let us see X is 3, Y is 4, Z is 1, W is 4. So 3 4 1 4, 3 4 1 4. Option C is the right answer. Now we see question number 22. The chemical equations are balanced to satisfy one of the following laws in chemical reactions. This law is known as, actually this balancing is done based on the law of conservation of mass, which says that mass can neither be created nor be destroyed. In other words, we can say that the total mass of the reactants is equal to total mass of the products. So however we say, that law is known as law of conservation of mass. So here option B is the right answer. Now let us see 23rd question. Glucose plus oxygen gives us carbon dioxide plus water. Then the question is that the number of molecules of glucose required for the formation of 12 molecules of CO2. Let us write the equation. First, glucose formula is C6H12O6 plus oxygen is O2, gives rise to carbon dioxide is CO2, and then hydrogen water is H2O. Now here let us do balancing this equation. Let us observe here see carbon 6 are there. So here I am writing 6. Now carbons, both the carbons get balanced. Now here let us check for hydrogen. We see hydrogen 12 are there. Here 2. So let us write here 6. 6 2 are 12. Here hydrogen 12. Okay. Now let us check oxygen. Oxygen here 6 plus 2 8. Here there are 12. 6 to the 12 plus 6 18. Here you observe carefully. Oxygen should be 18. Already 6 are there. So 12 more are required. So if you write here 6, this will become 6 to the 12. Is it clear? Now here let us check once again. Carbon 6. Carbon 6. Hydrogen 12. Hydrogen 6 to the 12. Oxygen here 6 and here 6 to the 12. 6 plus 12 18 this side. This side here 2 6 are 12 plus here 6 1 are 6. 12 plus 6 18. So everything gets balanced. But here you observe. Here we get 6 molecules of CO2. 6 molecules is 6 molecules of CO2. Now here we are need of 12 molecules. 12 molecules are required. Here we have only 6 molecules. So in order to get 12, what we need to do? It should be multiplied by 2. And we should know that not a single one should be multiplied by 2. Entire equation from the reactants till the products, every value to be multiplied by 2. So this will become into 2. This will be into 2. This also will be into 2. Here nothing is there, means 1 is there. Now here let us write the new values. This is 2 1 are 2. Here I am writing 2 1 are 2. Here 2 6 are 12. Here 2 6 are 12. Right? Here 6 2 6 are here also 12. That means here you see 12 molecules of CO2. 12 molecules of CO2. To get 12 molecules of CO2, how many molecules of glucose is required? This is glucose. See, to get 6 molecules, 1 molecule of glucose. To get 12 molecules of CO2, we need 2 molecules of glucose. So option 2, answer is 2. Let us see option D. You see, option D is the right answer. Now we see comprehension 2. Recall the law of conservation of mass that you studied in class 9. It says that mass can neither be created nor destroyed in a chemical reaction. That is, the total mass of the elements present in the products of a chemical reaction has to be equal to the total mass of the elements present in the reactants. Now here based on these certain questions are there, we are going to solve them one by one. Let us see question number 24. See here, A times C8H18 plus B times O2 gives rise C times CO2 plus D times H2O. So here these are the values of A, B, C, D, or we can say coefficients. We get the options by balancing. Let us see here, carbon here 8 times it is there, here only 1 time. So let us write here 8. Let us do testing. So carbon gets balanced. Here hydrogen 18 are there. Here only 2 is there. So let us write 9 here. 9 2s are 18. So carbon and hydrogen, they get balanced. Now let us count oxygen here. Here you see 8 2s are 16 plus 9 1s are 9. So oxygen 16 plus 9 25. But here 2 into how much is 25? 12.5. But here the coefficient should be positive integers. They should not be fractions or they should not be decimal. So the thing what we are assuming, 8, 9, these are the wrong options. These are written based on by taking A as 1. If suppose A is 1, then C is 1 8 are 8. So I am writing 8 here. So instead of assuming 1, let us take an even number. So let us consider A as 2. For example, let us consider A as 2. Now let us balance once again. Now here what happens? Carbon 8 2s are 16. So here in place of C 16 will come. Now hydrogen you see 18 2s are 36. Here 2 is there. So here 18 will come. 2 18s are 36. 18 2s are 36. Hydrogen also gets balanced. Now let us count oxygen. This side we see 2 into 16 32 oxygens plus here 18 O means 18 oxygens. Total here 50 oxygens. 50 is it is an even number. It is an even number. So here in place of B, 2 how much are 50? 2 25s are. So we can write in place of B, you can write 25. So let us verify once again. Carbon 8 2s are 16. Here carbon 16. Carbon balanced. Hydrogen 2 8 jar. 2 18 jar 36. Here hydrogen 18 2s are 36. Hydrogen gets balanced. Oxygen 25 2s are 50. This side 16 2s are 32 plus 18, that is also 50. That means here you see total mass of the elements present in the product side is equal to total mass of the elements present in the reactant side. So here it is balanced. So answers A 25, B A 2, B 25, C 16, D 18. So here 2, 25, 16, 18. Option A is the right answer. Now let us see question number 25. Fe2O3, A times Fe2O3 plus B times HCl gives us C times FeCl3 plus D times H2O. So here Fe2 means 2 times ion is there. So here let us just take C as 2. So Fe balanced. Now let us see chlorine. Chlorine here 3 2s are 6. Chlorine, or you can say 2 3s are. Whatever you do, that is same. 2 3s are 6. Here only one time. So let us write here 6. So chlorine also balanced. Now let us go for hydrogen. Hydrogen you see 6 times H. Here it is on 2 times. So let us write here 3. 3 2s are 6. Hydrogen also balanced. Now last one is oxygen. 3 here. 3 into O means oxygen 3 times. 3 atoms. Here O3 also 3. So here A will become directly 1. So let us check once again. Fe2. Say 2Fe. Oxygen 3. Here also oxygen 3. Hydrogen 6. Here also hydrogen 6. Chlorine 6. Here also chlorine 3 6. So answer 1623. 1623. Option B. Option B is the right answer. Now let us see question number 26. That is A times Br2 plus B times NaI gives rise C times NaBr plus D times I2. Let us see here. See here Br2. So here let us write 2. So Br will become 2. 2 times Br. Here 2Na. 2Na. So here let us write 2. 2Na. I2. Here also I2. 2 times I. So this will be 1 then. This also will be 1. Now let us do checking balance once again. Br2. Here Br. 2 times Br. Here Na. Sodium 2 times. Here also sodium 2 times Na. Here 2 times I. 2 times iodine. Here also I2 means 2 times I. So answer 1221. So option A is 1221. Option A is the right answer for this question. Now we see question number 27. A times Zn plus B times Fe2SO4 thrice gives rise to C times ZnSO4 plus D times Fe. So here we are asked to find A, B, C, D respectively. So here let us see Zn. Here let us consider this as one time, for example, this also here one time. So here Fe2. So here iron is there 2 times. Here iron is there only one time. And let us take here SO4 as a unit. It is called polyatomic unit. So polyatomic atoms. So here SO4 can be treated as one unit. So it is 3 times it is there. So let us start the balancing with that idea. SO4 3 times is there. Let us write in place of C 3. Now here zinc has become 3 times. Now here let us balance zinc with 3. Now the question is with iron. Here iron is 2 times. Here only 1 time. So let us write here 2. Now let us check the options. Here zinc. Here we write Fe2. Here Fe2Fe. SO4 3 times. SO4 also 3 times. So here we can write in place of B 1. Now let us check the balancing. See 3 times zinc. Here also 3 times zinc. Zinc balanced. Iron 1 2s are 2. Here iron 2 times. So iron is also balanced. SO4 here 3 times. Here also SO4 3 times. So here answer 3 1 3 2. Let us see the options 3 1 3 2. Option C is the right answer. Now we see comprehension 3. It is given that a chemical equation is said to be balanced if the atoms of different elements on both the sides of the equation are equal. That is true. Actually here that is the meaning of the balanced equation. If the atoms of different elements on the both sides of the equation should be equal. Now second point is that According to the law of conservation of mass, the total mass of the products must be equal to the total mass of the reactants. This is possible only if the number of atoms of each element are the same on the two sides of the reaction. Hence, we should balance the chemical equation. Here there are certain 2 points are given. They say that why should we balance the chemical equation? Based on that, certain questions are there. Let us solve now. See question number 28. The equation Cu plus X times HNO3 gives rise to CuNO3 twice plus Y times NO2 plus 2 times H2O. The values of X and Y are. Let us start comparing the values. Here copper 1 time, here also copper 1 time. Let us see here hydrogen X times, here hydrogen 2 2s are 4. So in place of X, let us write 4 and check. So 4 hydrogens, 2 2s are 4 hydrogens. Hydrogen also gets balanced. Now here nitrogens, here 4. Here this 2 can be taken by nitrogen. So here 2 plus here let us write 2. So here 2. So here 2 plus here 2, total 4. Here also 4 nitrogens. Nitrogen also gets balanced. Now the last checking is oxygen. Oxygen 3 4s are 12. The reactant side oxygen 12. Let us see the product side. 3 2s are 6 plus 2 2s are 4. 6 plus 4 10 plus here 2 12. So all the atoms copper, hydrogen, nitrogen and oxygen all get balanced. Now here in place of X 4 is there, in place of Y 2 is there. So X is 4, Y is 2. From options 4 and 2. Option C is the right answer. Now we see question number 29. In the following equations, Na2CO3 plus X times HCl gives rise to 2NaCl plus CO2 plus H2O. Then the value of X is. This is also nothing but balancing. See here Na2, 2Na. So sodium balanced, Na balanced. Let us see now here chlorine, you see chlorine X times, here chlorine 2 times. So let us write here in place of X, let us write 2 and check. Chlorine balanced. Carbon 1, here also carbon 1, carbon balanced. Now here oxygen is left. Oxygen here 3, here 2 plus 1 3. So let us do final checking. Na2, 2Na, Na balanced. Carbon 1, carbon 1, carbon balanced. Oxygen 3, here oxygen 2 plus 1 3, oxygen balanced. 2 hydrogens, here H2 means 2 hydrogens, hydrogen balanced. Now here 2 chlorine, here also 2 chlorine, so chlorine also balanced. Therefore, a suitable value for X is 2. So option B is the right answer. Now let us say question number 30. When CaCO3 is heated, it gives CaO and CO2. Then the question is that the correct number of moles present in the reaction respectively. Let us write the equation and let us do balancing. Then we will come to know the number of moles. CaCO3 on heating, this triangle indicates heating. CaO plus CO2. Let us check now whether it is balanced or not. Calcium 1, calcium 1. Okay, carbon 1, carbon 1. Oxygen 3, here 1, here 2, total 3. So it is balanced. That means here you see coefficients, you see this is 1, this is 1, this is 1. So 1, 1, 1, each one 1 mole each, we can say 1 mole each. So 1, 1, 1, option C is the right answer. Now here let us see comprehension 4. Let us read what is given. Here this is of endothermic versus exothermic reactions. So here as we know endothermic is nothing but the reaction where heat is required. Here exothermic means the reaction where heat is evolved, heat will be given out. Now here let us see the questions based on it. Now question number 31. What does the symbol small triangle in a chemical equation mean? I have told you that already. The triangle indicates that heat is supplied to the reaction. When heat is given, then only the reaction will take place. That means it is endothermic reaction. So here let us see. Here let us see the question once again, 31. What does the symbol triangle in a chemical reaction mean? Heat is supplied to the reaction. So option A is the right answer. Now let us see question number 32. Identify the incorrect match. Means here some are correct, some are incorrect. So we need to find the which one or which one is or which one are incorrect. Let us see here. C plus O2 gives rise to CO2. So carbon plus oxygen we get carbon dioxide, and plus Q means heat is evolved. So this is exothermic reaction. This is true. And here N2 plus O2 gives us to 2NO. Here minus Q. Let us just see, just for your understanding I am saying here, move the minus Q this side. It will become plus Q. Means for the reaction Q for heat. Heat is added. So to get the reaction, heat is supplied. So this reaction has taken heat. It is endothermic. So this is also true. Now AgCl under sunlight it becomes Ag and Cl2. So this is silver chloride will become silver and chloride. It is a decomposed reaction. Here under the sunlight, if any decomposition reaction takes under the sunlight, then that is called photochemical reaction. So this is also true. Now let us see last one. 6CO2 plus 6H2O gives rise to C6H12O6. This is glucose and 6 times O2. So this is naturally occurring exothermic reaction. Here let us see what does it mean. See, CO2 plus H2O both give us glucose and oxygen. This is under sunlight and this is a chlorophyll. That means this process is called synthesis, photosynthesis. Actually, this can be observed in the plants. Actually, plants prepare their food under the sunlight, right? For that they need heat. That is why they prepare the food under sunlight, because sunlight gives them the required heat. So to get this reaction to be done, heat is required. So it needs heat. Heat is to be supplied. So it is endothermic reaction. It is given exothermic. This is false. It is purely endothermic reaction. So here which one is incorrect? D is incorrect. So here option D is the answer for the question 32nd one. Now we see Roman number 3, assertion and reason type questions. Here there are 4 options. That is, option A can be kept if both A and R are true and R is the correct explanation of A. And option B will be the option if both A and R are true and R is not correct explanation of A. If A is correct and R is incorrect, then option C. If A is incorrect and R is correct, then we need to write option D. Now let us see question number 33. Assertion A is given as, the balancing of chemical equations is based on law of conservation of mass. This is true. Actually, we do balancing chemical equation based on law of conservation of mass only. That is true. And let us see the reason R. Total mass of reactants is equal to the total mass of products. That is only law of conservation of mass. So R is also true, and moreover R is the correct explanation of A. So here option A is the right answer. Now let us see question number 34. Quicklime, assertion A is given as, quicklime reacts vigorously means immediately, with water releasing a large amount of heat. This is true. Quicklime plus water is equal to slaked lime plus heat. So this is true. The above chemical reaction is exothermic. Exothermic means where heat is released, where heat is evolved. Here you say releasing heat is nothing but exothermic. So R is also true, and R is the correct explanation of A. So here 34th one also, option A is the right answer. Now let us see question number 35. That is, assertion A is given as, photosynthesis is considered as endothermic reaction. Photosynthesis needs heat to the process. So it takes heat. That's why it is endothermic reaction. Is true. This statement is true. Energy gets released in the process of photosynthesis. This is false. Why? Because if energy gets released, then it will become exothermic. But actually photosynthesis is endothermic. So during photosynthesis, energy will be gained by it, not it will be released. So here this is false. A is correct, R is incorrect. So for 35, option C is the right answer. Now we see question number 36. Assertion A is given as equation is more informative because it tells us the physical states of various substances involved. So this is true. See, in the equations you can find sometimes S for solid, L for liquid, A for aqueous, G for gas. So with that equation will be more informative. This is true. It tells us that zinc is in the solid state, sulfuric acid is in the aqueous solution, zinc sulfate is also an aqueous solution, but hydrogen is in gaseous state. See, this is true, all are true. Zinc is in solid state only, sulfuric acid in aqueous solution, zinc sulfate also aqueous, whereas hydrogen is gas. This is true, but the thing is that this is not the correct explanation of A, because in the A, the equation related to this is not given. Is it clear? Suppose in equation A, if the equation is given as, for example, Zn means zinc means Zn plus H2SO4 gives rise to, here zinc sulfate ZnSO4 plus hydrogen. If it is given such, then R will be the correct explanation of A. So here, if suppose, here I am saying if it is given like this, zinc plus H2SO4 gives rise to ZnSO4 plus H2, whereas this is solid, this is aqueous and this is gas. If this would be the assertion A, then definitely this would have been the correct explanation, but this is not given in A. Even though both are true, R is not the correct explanation of A. So here option B is the right answer. Now let us see question number 37. The burning of carbon in oxygen is an exothermic reaction. That is true, because if we burn carbon in oxygen, then heat is given out, heat will be evolved. So this is true. It gives light energy, heat energy. So it is true. An exothermic reaction is indicated by writing plus heat or plus heat energy or just plus energy on the products side of the equation. This is also true. In an exothermic reaction, whenever we find at the product side, means right side, these terms will be there, either plus heat or plus heat energy or energy, right? So such kind of equation is not there in A. Even though both are true, R is not the correct explanation of A. So for 37th one, option B is the right answer. Now we see question number 38. Assertion A is given as some chemical reactions are characterized by evaluation of a gas. This is true. Certain chemical equations you see, finally you will get here H2 is their gas. That is evaluation of hydrogen gas. This is true. The chemical reaction between zinc and dilute sulfuric acid, same example again he is taking, is characterized by the evaluation of hydrogen gas. This is also true, but the thing is that even though R is true, R is not the correct explanation of A, because both are true, but in this assertion A, this kind of means the equation which having relation between zinc sulfuric acid like this, zinc sulfate and hydrogen gas, the certain kind of equation is not given. It is given in general. So it is explained with the example. Both are true, but R is not the correct explanation for A. Now let us see question number 39. A precipitate is an insoluble solid product which separates out from the solution during a chemical reaction. This is true. Precipitate means it's an insoluble solid product. If you filter it, then it can be separated. Is it clear? So which separates out. So this is true. A precipitate can also be formed by passing a gas into an aqueous solution of a substance. This is a process to get the precipitation. So this is also true, but at the same time R is not the correct explanation for A. So here also option B is the right answer. Now we see question number 40. Here assertion is given as the chemical reaction between potassium iodide and lead nitrate is characterized by the formation of yellow precipitate lead iodide. This is true. Actually, if we do reaction between potassium iodide and lead nitrate, then automatically here what comes? Potassium nitrate excuse me, potassium nitrate and then lead iodide, these will be the products. See, reactants are potassium iodide and lead nitrate, but products are potassium nitrate and lead iodide. So here the thing what you need to remember, that this is a double displacement reaction. Okay, so here in this reaction we will get a precipitate that is yellow in color, that is nothing but lead iodide is the precipitate. So this is true. Now let us see the reason. Some chemical reactions are characterized by the formation of precipitate. So here you see reason is also true, and this is the correct explanation of this. See, here a example is taken in the assertion, exactly the appropriate reason is given in the R. So here the option is A, because A and R both are true. R is the correct explanation of A. Now let us see question number 41. The chemical reaction between citric acid and purple colored potassium permanganate solution is characterized by a change in color from purple to colorless. When we perform this practically, if we see this experiment, when you add citric acid to potassium permanganate solution which already has a color purple color, then slowly finally whatever we get the product, it becomes colorless. Initially potassium permanganate has the color of purple. Okay, it has the color whose color is purple, but when it is added to citric acid, slowly it will be changing its color, means losing its color, it becomes colorless. So this is true. Now let us see the reason. In the above reaction, potassium dichromate is acting as an oxidizing agent. This is also true, but the thing is that, see, this experiment can be done in the presence of potassium dichromate, but here this is not the correct explanation for A, because both the situations are entirely different. Here this is the oxidizing agent and here this is the precipitation. So here option B is the right answer. Now let us see question number 42. The reaction between quicklime and water to form slaked lime is an exothermic reaction. This is true, because quicklime plus water we will get slaked lime plus heat, where heat is evolved, where heat is exited, that is called exothermic reaction. That is true. Dissolution of quicklime in water releases a lot of heat. This is also true. Dissolution means quicklime is added to water, releases lot of heat. That is the reason we are calling as exothermic. So both are true and R is the correct explanation of A. So here option A is the right answer. Now we see Roman number 4. Those are statement type questions. We should write option A when all the above statements are correct. Here you see 3 statements are given. When all the 3 are correct, then option A should be given. All the above statements are incorrect. That means statement A, statement B, statement 3. If all the 3 are incorrect, we should give option B. If A and B are correct and C is incorrect, suppose first 2 are correct and C is incorrect, we should give the option C. For example, if A and B are incorrect, first 2 are incorrect and only C is correct, last one is correct, then here we should write option D. Let us start now. Question number 43. Statement A says that change in state, change in color, evaluation of a gas, change in temperature and formation of precipitate, these observations help us to determine whether a chemical reaction has taken place or not. This is true. So if you observe any chemical equation or any chemical reaction, you can find whether state is changed or not, its color is changed or not, any gas is evolved or not, is there any change in temperature or not, is there any precipitation formed or not. So these are all the things will help us and they can be seen, they can be taken place during a chemical reaction. So it is true. Statement A is true. Let us see statement B. Chemical changes are caused by chemical reactions. This is also true. There is no reaction, there is no change. If there is reaction, there will be a change. So this is true. Chemical changes are caused because or by chemical reactions only. This statement is true. Let us see statement C. A chemical reaction represents the changes of species like atoms, molecules taking part in the reaction into new species. When these species are changed to the new species, then here that can be represented by a chemical reaction. That is true. Reactants can be put left side of the equation, products can be put right side of the equation. So this is also true. Here you see A, B, C, all the three statements are true. If all are correct, then option A is the right answer. Now we see question number 44. Statement A says that the reacting species are known as the reactants and those formed as a result of the reaction are called products. This is true. The species which are reacting are called reactants and which are formed are called products. This is true. A chemical equation links together the substances which react, means reactants, with the new substances that are formed, that are products. Actually this is also true. Chemical reaction, it shows the link between the reactants to the products. Reactants means which are participating and products means which are formed. So this statement is also true. Word equations represent simple change of reactants into products. A word equation links together the names of the reactants and with those of the products. This is also true. See, word equation is nothing but reactant plus reactant gives rise to product plus product. Of course the words will be written. So all the three are true. So if all the three are true, option A is the right answer. Now we see question number 45. Statement A says a brief representation of chemical reaction in terms of symbols and formulae of the substances involved is called chemical equation. This is exactly the definition of the chemical equation. Chemical equation is a brief representation of chemical reaction in terms of which has symbols and formulae. That is the difference between chemical equation and word equation. Word equation has the names of the reactants and products. Chemical equation has their formula and symbols. So this is true. Now, an unbalanced equation is called skeletal equation. This is also true. If there is an equation which is not balanced yet, that is called skeletal. If we do balancing, then that is called balanced equation. So unbalanced and skeletal equation both are same. So this is true. In a balanced equation, the number of atoms of each element on both sides of the equations are not equal. Not equal is false. They are equal. That is the reason we do balancing equation. In balancing equation, number of atoms of each element on both the sides should be equal. Here it is given not equal. So this is false. If A and B are true and statement C is incorrect, then here option C is to be given. So 45th question, option C is the right answer. Now we see Roman number 5, more than one correct answer type questions. That means here even though 4 options are there, there should be definitely more than one correct answers. Means maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe 4 won't be there, because here one of them will be definitely maybe wrong. So here let us see question number 46. Chemical equations describe. So nuclear reactions. So chemical equations they won't describe about the nuclear reactions. It is different. Chemical equation describes electrochemical processes. This is correct. Chemical equations describe chemical reactions, also correct. Chemical equations describe biological process reactions, also correct. All the three are the correct options. So here options here B, C and D. B, C, D are the right options. See here we got the more than one correct answers. Now let us see question number 47. Chemical equations involve breaking of bonds. Yes, breaking of bonds will be there. The making of bonds also will be there. Say sometimes they will be breaking the bonds, sometimes they will be making the bonds with the new substances. So see bit, you see the breaking and making, so both together also can be done. The shifting of the bonds, it won't be there during the chemical equations. So here answers A, B, C, these are the right answers, right options. Now let us see question number 48. A skeleton equation does not show which of the following. Let us see here. A skeleton equation means the equation which is not balanced yet. So that does not show which of the following. Correct formulae of the reactants and products. Even though it is skeleton equation, it will show correct formula and reactants of the products. So this is true, it will show it. Only thing is they are not balanced yet, that's all. And second one is that arrow connecting the reactants to the products. This arrow also will be there in a skeleton equation. Reactants implies products, so arrow also will be there. And here physical states of the substances, it won't be given by the skeleton equation, right? And relative amounts of the reactants and products, this is also won't be given. They both will be given for the balanced equation, not for the skeleton equation. So skeleton equation does not show these two. So here option C and D, these two are the right options. Now we see Roman number 6, that is matching type questions. In that, question number 49 is column 1, some equations are given. In column 2, which kind of equations we need to match them. So here CaO plus H2O gives rise to CaOH twice, where for this reaction heat is given out. So this is exothermic reaction. This is exothermic reaction. So I am simply writing EXO. And second one, N2 plus O2 gives rise to 2NO. This is a special reaction where it has both the qualities. Those are, to get the reaction heat is required. So it is endothermic reaction. And at the end of the reaction heat will be evolved. So this is exothermic reaction also. So to perform the reaction, we need to give the heat, means heat is to be supplied. So this reaction takes heat and gives heat. So taking is nothing but endothermic, giving is nothing but exothermic. Now here third one, 2H2 plus O2 gives rise to 2H2O. This is also exothermic. Heat will be given out. And C plus O2 gives rise to CO2. This is also exothermic. So here also heat can be given out. Now here let us see which options are suitable. So wherever exothermic is there, let us write P, and wherever, see, P is exothermic. So first one is P. Exothermic and endothermic both. So that is Q. Only exothermic again P. Only exothermic again P. See the options here. From the options, if you observe carefully, first option is given as 1P, 1P, 2Q, 2Q, 3P, 4P, 3P, 4P. So option A is the right answer for this question. Now we see question number 50, and this is the last question of the worksheet. Identify X, Y, W and Z in the following reaction. Here there is a reaction is given. We need to identify, here is X and here is Y. This is Z and this is W. Whether you are able to see it or not properly. This is X. Barium sulfate is X. Sodium chloride is Y. Next, H2SO4 sulfuric acid is Z. Barium chloride is W. Now here I would like to tell you, this is a practical based question. Let us try to explain in detail little bit. So here consider a beaker, and here another beaker. Now in this beaker I am going to take BaCl2. BaCl2. This is BaCl2, right? And this is H2SO4. H2SO4. Actually BaCl2 is a solid. It should be added to water. So here let us pour water in both the beakers, and then BaCl2 can be added. And here also we need to add acid to the water, because we need to do practicals by diluting it. Diluting in the sense we need to add acid to water. Okay, when we add these two, means I am going to mix these two in another beaker. So I am going to mix these two. Then what happens here? Here, see, that will be coming as in this form like aqueous solution. Here what are the constituents? In this what are they? First BaCl2 and H2SO4. Both are mixed in it. After some time, if it is left undisturbed, means without moving it, if we leave it for a while, then here slowly a precipitation will be formed. This is nothing but BaSO4. BaSO4. Actually here this equation, it is little bit wrong here, because here in place of H2SO4 we should take here the mistake is that on adding Ba will be react with SO4. So SO4 can be taken by Ba and H and Cl will be coming both together. So here this is not NaCl, the given equation is wrong, this is HCl, right. So BaCl2 plus H2SO4 give us BaSO4 barium sulfate and HCl, hydrochloric acid. Now here when you add BaCl2 and H2SO4, BaSO4 is left as precipitation, and here you see, you can see the aqueous solution, that is nothing but HCl. Clear? Now let us try to write their states. BaCl2 added in water, so it is called aqueous. In short, I am writing AQ. H2SO4 added in water, this is also called aqueous. And HCl, you see, this is the liquid. It is, in fact, it is not liquid, it is added with water. HCl plus water, this is also aqueous. Whereas BaSO4, it is left as a precipitation that can be filtered, it's a solid. Now, according to the question, we see it. See, under BaCl2, W is given, so this is W. Under H2SO4, Z is given, this is Z. Under BaSO4, X is given, so this is X. And here under HCl, Y is given, this is Y. Now let us conclude the question. That is, see, X is, here X is solid, so here solid is R. So here R is the right option for first bit. Here Y is aqueous, right? So here aqueous is P, second one is P. Here W, that is BaCl2, that is also aqueous. Aqueous nothing but P. See here P is aqueous. Next, last one is Z. Z is also aqueous, so aqueous nothing but P. So here let us check the options carefully. First one R, second one, third one, fourth one, all the three P. See R, P, P, P. So option A is the right answer for this question. If you feel this video is helpful to you, please like, share and subscribe our channel. And please do not forget to press the bell button so that you will get the notifications from our channel. Thank you very much.